number he wanted. Maybe he wanted that, maybe he couldn't in the end. With that contract, a lot came with it. Plus, to get that contract, they're buying 6 RFA units, right, which are negotiation where Ted has got all of the power. He's a very good negotiator, and he has everybody on this roster under $10 million that the play. Bottom line here, if you want this done now, before you replace your NHL deal, if you want the money, it's there, but it's not going to be that number. And he said, freaks off on the skating, sometimes we're kind of done on the play and all that stuff. But they've done that position. So the second best thing to get that done, have a solo open, which is tonight. That's why that deal got done. Get to walk in there to the Bell Center with that deal done. Drive here for 8 years. Yeah, biggest ovation probably up to the. Oh yeah, happy to pop it. It's great. The timing it's been telegraphed there. I wish I didn't notice that. And it's a wonderful deal for us to just secure. The money's a lot of money. $11 million next to life. Yeah. And one to the contract he's still involved in. This is why, but this is the benefit, right? Is that he gets able to sign with the team and off points just like that. And signing talking about other stuff. You went to the game the other day. And it was I did, yes. And no, Eric Carlson actually did cost me fantasy, but out of this, the biggest thing to say on the show. But I get upset when Penguins fans push back. You are in. I've seen this face in passes. I've seen it. Trade this player for draft pick. Any team is going to do that. So many teams in this league are doing that. But the reason I sit before you, a husk of a human being, is because the league had a hammer on their business. Those RFA negotiations, but a generation of league hockey, what should have been the golden generation of league hockey, and we're watching it with them 10 years in, and one of them gone. We're watching it torn through our fingers like singing. We're trying to hold on to something that's different. They might be good, but it ain't going to be the way it was supposed to be. You take it away, but it's probably take it direction. Well, no. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Mr. Answer, like, no, get back to that. Please turn the knife on yourself, Stephen. No. It just feels like the Squidward watching SpongeBob and Patrick run around me. Like, I am watching all these young stars that Montreal has take less. And I'm like, cool. Can't wait for Austin to sign for 20 after the next 2 years of them doing it. So far, it looks like pop off. Do you want to do the bonus structure? And then, yeah, I'm doing it. I got it. And I think that's such a great point. I still love to get wax poetic on how good the action. 11 million. Yep. Next. 11 million. 11. Sorry. 11. 9.5. 6.5. 6. Plus. That's how it kind of lines up in terms of bonus here. So that it shows 5 million. I think it shows you how little deferred money feels for him. No, I'm young. I want to own the money now. Hey, you know what? It's a bummer because my kids on it. I was really enjoying it. Oh, so mad about it. Do you want to play the flip that upstairs? Yeah, let's go. We're not popular. What? I don't know. It's that my fault. Like, it did get that. He gave this very weird 45-minute interview in his car, and we rightly were like, that was odd. Yeah, that's okay. So, for Lane Hudson and the Montreal Canadiens have taken a beat. The negotiations are extraordinarily tense. Brady said hurt feelings on both sides, and they need to take a beat. Hurt feelings on both sides? He's been in the league 1 year. I think Lane's going to make this thing easy on that. I think, what are you talking about? They just said that they're upset with you. I watched a super weird 45-minute interview in a car. Yeah. That suggested otherwise. And I don't for noise. I think it's the right thing to do is to hang on that. What's going to happen here is he gets a $9 million contract. You know who you think is close if you say that. Sean Coffey, Vortex Management, would take the Darren Ferris as his friend. And if you don't And I think this is his dad's negotiation more than his dad. I think what we hear out of the gentleman next to you is a lot of his partner fear mongering. I'm not overthinking it, Adam. I want to discuss it. You know what? Those guys like, all right, man, you've had your fun, but we're burying the lead. The next part of the story, you and the other guy. The next part of the story. No. Okay, so Lane Hudson signs the contract, right? Yeah. And then what happened hours later? In the Toronto Star, Ivan Demidov, the agent, did a super fucking weird interview where he talked about how bad Lane Hudson's contract was. Just kidding. That didn't happen. Imagine being so fucking weird as to do that to a teammate. Imagine missing that person for a moment. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Mitch Marner's cornball agent gave an interview that day Matthews signed. Yeah. That was bad. Yeah. I gave you a little pushback for taking the direction of the news, but it actually makes a lot of sense taking that direction because you look at it as an example of what not to do. Yeah. So you're pointing out the window that the Leafs had from that Matthews draft pick to making the playoffs early against Washington, which serendipity is Montreal does it too, and then the last 9 years we talked. And then eventually, that thing's going to come to an end. And you think that them suddenly cuts it, and it goes to their top stars. It's going to be in Caulfield and Slack and Demidov, and so like everybody they have going there. And you say, they're going to be the biggest of this division very soon. And it's all credit to them for building that team in such a smart way, keeping those contracts low. And you look at the other guys in the division and say, Tampa's window's closing, they're aging. Yeah. And the Leafs who don't have a championship to show for it are also going to be fighting this new house team that's going to be dominating for the next decade in this division. And it's a great thing about the hat. It's kind of sad for the Leafs. Yeah. Kind of sad. Yeah. I think you're so right to think of that. Devastating. If you're lucky, you'll have another opportunity like the one you had with Taylor and Matthews Marner in 20 You'll be extraordinarily lucky. The Penguins are generationally lucky. And it still took like 30 years, a journey through the fucking early mid-2000s desert where they were unwatchable, unscum, and they guys almost left the city because of how bad it is. Crosby put up over 100 points in the rookie, and they still ran him up to take second overall that year. And they go from Lemieux to Crosby, and that may never happen again. The two teams that this has actually happened to, the Oilers and the Penguins, it took
from coast to coast. Don't get your insurance started with $11 per month at benchmarks.com.
Boy, like, they've done a lot forever. Like, players, I hope they know when you get these opportunities in the playoffs, and you can pick up again and again, you've got that's not going to be there forever. And the path to improvement is so obvious from Montreal, too. Like, Josh Anderson is in your second line center for the probably. Well, how are we going to get that? Well, Josh Anderson's contract is terrible, and it doesn't last forever. It's fine. Lane Hudson, I hate to throw the same thing. Patrick Laine, and his horrible contract, they're not going to be there forever. It's fine. You know, they have $27 million in cap space available next season. It's already, and there's no have to sign. Not let alone after Bernard. And they have assets they move.
And Hudson is going to get a raise, and that will bring the situation to still $12 million.
No, that includes like the Hudson.
Oh, for God's sake!
I think like giving line exactly line 8.7 is coming off the book, but that just goes to Hudson. So they're next.
Yeah,
You have more liners, so you're replacing that with like 9.25.
like, I was about to say, here, I'm going to take my lead fan away for a second. No. Lead my lead fan into this conversation. I think this is more legitimate.
I think it's important.
I hate what the Montreal Canadiens are doing because it is fantastic. It's fantastic. If any Leaf fans listening to this and you're depressed, you should. That is the appropriate reaction. I think sometimes sorrow, it fits the situation, and this situation calls for it. Fuck our lives. They ruined the generation of our team.
Montreal is choosing our big when they hired that coordinator. They hired a guy who's turned the New York Rangers around in like 18 months. And then the owner, who's allegedly a difficult man to deal with, was like, no, we need to change here and certify and let him go. Yeah, and the Montreal drafted him. And it's time to get rid of him. But he talked about the owner behind his back.
You're talking about Jeff Gordon.
Yeah.
So what that was, I believe it was Gordon and John Davis. One of the rich Tom Wilson shoots up for Kevin Demir. And then they have that brouhaha for this best statement. So the Rangers released a statement from the owner that is certifiable. It's insane. It's an insane thing to do. And it costs James Dolan $250,000 from the business. Does not matter. He doesn't care about the money. He doesn't care about the reputation. John Davidson and Jeff Gordon do, because they have to. So they let it be known around the league, hey, we had nothing to do with that statement. And James Dolan, as a dictator, as dictators do, said, off with their heads.
I didn't realize that was
And if I remember it correctly, wow. And great, you let a top-tier executive stay in the conference. People boom. Well, and how was the Rangers done?
They've been up and down.
They took a President's Trophy team and set it on fire.
Yeah.
Actually set it on fire.
Get it better.
They fought fire with fire in a fight nest.
So I like themselves. I'd like to continue.
Yeah.
The other part, which is they hired a guy who's been anxious, who understands what age does it? Contract. And said dealing with players. So you got a really experienced guy who's got a track record of success, and you've got experienced negotiator with a track record of negotiating understanding player value. So he's had guy that used to run player safety, and guy that apprentice under Lou Lamoriello who was signing weird contracts, and then all of a sudden, when someone's there to take over, gets the Tavares deal done, and then it's like the rest of it. The future planning, the way the league set this up, the future planning part of it, neither of those guys, let's be straight, was qualified, and we didn't know it at the time, so there were these dynamic things that they were somebody wanted to be good. They were out of their heads, it's like underwater, out of their heads, but they were underwater. And if the Toronto Maple Leafs understood what they needed to do, you don't capitulate on the Nylander negotiation. You let them stay, right? You don't capitulate on the Marner negotiation. You let them play in Germany. And if you have to trade those players, that's set the tone. And the Toronto Maple Leafs, like when they signed Nylander, we all felt like that was a fair deal. They didn't want to sign him to that deal, but they called him at the last day and said, you know, okay, complicated. I was the same too as it is with December 1st. But you won't believe it. And so when you capitulate like that, just sends a notification to everybody going, they'll eventually. Yeah, you want to win that bat. I don't blame them for wanting to win that bat. I do blame them for not realizing that they had the hand in the yeah, and they never got any of those deals done early. One thing that all of these masters do is that was a loose thing. That was a loose thing. You're not getting it done. Yeah, so does people wrote it the other way. Remember the whole thing was if you have time to do this? That was Nylander's philosophy. And if you remember, Nylander was available to be extended under the league. So was Marner. And I think the Leafs were going to, the thought was, well, if we offer whatever the new episode is, but the Marner office is like going to be something like 8 times 8, and the Leafs are like, we're not doing it. We're not going to do it. Welcome back. This is Canadian Spirit from Business Plan. No longer in presidential. This is not a hostage video. I just wanted to know that. There's one news item that I saw today from the National Hockey League in Drysdale. Go to 4 years. Things don't have to talk about that. They just get signed, fresh, they'll get signed. And my actual quarterback was Jason, before anybody, and we're going to like flex that have a couple 3 years. We get them done. Great. Also, we went to Fanatics Fest today. We got by the video designers booth. They have good starting aspect and Tesla there, signing photos, and there wasn't any lineup for that. There wasn't any sun for that either, but here's Fanatics Fest. The book of the maybe some people there who were traveling and are on asking for money, so I'm going to take a lot of time. And some of the literature for the United States for what we saw on yeah, it was small. So it's a small area of the country that's on the totally understand. There's a lot of soccer, basketball, football, baseball, and there's a huge climate in this area, which my uncles kind of talked out a little bit with how many hockey cards and how many every match part of the website. I was surprised I gave it. And then buying a case of cards is bad. So I did not. There's tomorrow, although tomorrow's pretty hooked up. So tomorrow's the day that I go to Fanatics Fest. Panel that I'm going to be on, where I have 8 questions that I will be asking the panel as well. There are a number of people who will be part of that panel too, and then we will also be going to Saturday night's main event tomorrow for anybody who might be a wrestling fan. I did share on the channel today as well photos of jackets and sweaters that were custom made, which I thought were fantastic. So if you go to Fanatics Fest, by all means, check out his booth, and it's absolutely fantastic. And the Bruins jacket that he had was probably the best looking Bruins jacket I've seen. And there's some really good debate stuff out there. And I think it's great that Fanatics is encouraging us to be and encouraging things that are fun. So I know there are a lot of people that I totally understand that. Fanatics understands that. If you're not bringing me down here because I'm just going to jump out with the rhythm and it's not going to break the other that's not what this is. This will be an ongoing relationship. I will be watching your Fanatics back and forth on a consistent basis, months will be going on. And so, yeah, this is very much a working style trip. And my wife and I did have a couple of days here. Tomorrow is all Fanatics. Fanatics Fest, and all of the stuff is going there. See me at Fanatics Fest, all these brothers say hi, and then say hi. There's guys in Calgary, but say hi. We'll be right side of Central Park today. So, by all means, do so. I think it's very humbling, and I always appreciate that kind of interaction. We go home on Sunday, videos back to normal on Monday. We have the trip plan on Montreal as well as vacation. In the way of work. But it's been great to be here so far. I really enjoyed it. It was very, very different environment from what I'm used to. But I'm surprised that it got pretty comfortable pretty quickly. I don't have the accent yet. We'll see if I have the accent by Sunday. Probably not. But you just never know. Thankfully, the NHL are full today. So that made my day a little bit easier. I didn't feel like I had to rush home to this video.
which is something that when we first got on our vacation back in 2018, I obsessed on. After all, I went back to the hotel, that's the videos for the first thing right after the World Cup is. That is not the case. And there are still more videos according to the post that tomorrow, Sunday, as there was before that. And it's expected to be a little bit of like I said, I just go ahead and look for the front fanatics that's tomorrow. I'd let people know what's going on. And I can find it. It's not so nice the area. It's not so. There's not a lot of options. There's not a lot. If I can find a good quiet corner somewhere, something quiet, maybe I will see some kind of video. We'll see how everything turns out. Can't make any guarantees with that, but it's been great so far. Thank you guys so much for it. If you haven't heard of it, I can and anybody. Thankfully, they're reactive. And in fact, one thing about reactive, curious about how.
Today, I'm going to open up the vision. Those are my first reason. I'm just going to difference. It's all good.
Pretty cool stuff and no good part. I like this one actually, but just not for breakfast. It's my fiber teeth and fiber tongue are sensitive when I wake up.
Their chicken burrito always juicy and tender, especially if it's the spicy one.
I prefer the non-spicy, but it just comes down front. This is going to go into this here, with the other biscuit. They're really playing the straight
The new chicken the nuggies are wrapped up in the mini-winning meat roll. These are overrated.
Hell, you guys serious? Over at my Chick-fil-A, they go crazy with the amount of honey butter spread on the roll.
That's my favorite part about eating these. Not only do you get the salty goodness of the chicken nugget, but the taste of the sweet warm bread. It still doesn't matter. There's no competition with this and the breakfast muffin.
I agree with Don there, but it still doesn't change the fact that it's still Chick-fil-A nuggets. They have nuggets at the end of the day.
So I'm going to put these in the golden tier. Then the next item is the egg white grilled muffin.
Now here we go with the really good breakfast food.
You can't lie sitting in picks like sewer water because I can put the spikes and want more.
2 bites? I think you need to get yourself checked out there, bro. John, how are you going to enjoy the breakfast if you eat like a rabid hippo?
Because he is a hippo. Stop, yeah, and I'll destroy your jokes and so shut up. Whatever that's supposed to mean.
You know, I thought chicken and eggs wouldn't go well together, but it's actually not too bad. It's a very interesting combination, and I honestly think it works only with Chick-fil-A.
I prefer chips to chicken. This one will suffice. Putting this chicken muffin in the God's tier.
Next up on the breakfast menu is becoming our channel member.
The description to become our channel. The hash brown scrambled burritos next, and I like bacon and mine.
I wasn't too excited about burritos. For me, I prefer this burrito with sausage, but the Christian added is incredible. Instead of the normal nuggets it comes with, that's the spicy chicken, and you'll never look back in any of the other breakfast items.
Was intended with the tremendous nuggets. That can work, but I gotta have the bacon with my eggs and that.
This is a taste of God's here, partner. There's no way that anyone doesn't like that burrito. Chicken, egg, and cheese biscuit is next up, and even though these buttermilk biscuits are busted, they get messy real easy and fast.
That's why muffins are superior to biscuits. Just remove the biscuits and you wouldn't have it.
If you take away the biscuit, then what's the point of it being a sandwich?
Exactly. You're just wasting money and don't eat the whole thing. Well, it's my money I'm spending, so I can do what I want.
The difference is the biscuit is filling, Joey.
Every time you do it, but then,
Just like this biscuit. No, this is going in a go-to tier, Don. You don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, okay, Towers.
Next up is the hash brown.